Ellen Kay, thank you so much for joining us here today at Radio Days. Firstly, how are you finding the event?
I'm finding it so amazing. I love the global presence, and it's fun to get out of the States and to meet people from Lithuania and here in Munich, my first time to Germany. I want to come every year now.
Yeah. You had the opportunity upstairs to chat to everyone, share a little bit about your journey, which, you know, as a woman very much at the start of my radio career, hopefully a long one to come, you know, first and foremost, I think you've really paved a very admirable way for yourself. Your chat upstairs, if someone wasn't able to make it, fill us in. What was that about? What were you talking about? What's the tea?
Well, we talked about being a woman and leading a radio show, and I think one of the things that I've always held inside my heart is that I've never thought I'm a woman in radio. So for me, there's no gender line. And I worked with high-profile men, Rick Dees and Ryan Seacrest, for many years, so I had the best training. So when it came time to do a show, a lot of people focused on me being a woman and being, oh, you're the first woman with your name on a show, and I said, yes, okay, that's true and that's great, and thank you to iHeart for supporting me in that. But I had a show to do, so I was more concerned with, what am I going to do? I have to do a radio show. So it wasn't that it was noise to me. I just didn't pay attention to it. I just thought, I'm going to go do a radio show just like all the guys up and down the hallway, which I'm in a hallway of men, and my bosses are men. And so, I'm a woman, but I still have to be live on that mic. So it's like the show must go on.
The show must go on. Yeah.
So I talked about upstairs about being a show with a purpose. Everyone was asking me, oh, what is your show going to be about? What are you going to do? You know, almost like they were scared for me. And that fueled me too, because I could see it in your eyes too. If someone says, so what are you going to do? What are you going to talk about? It's kind of like, well, I've been doing this for 20 years. I think I know what to do, right?
I'll be all right. Yeah.
I'll be all right.
You know what? You worry about yourself. I'll be okay.
Yes, but that question is so important to be asked. It's like when they first said you're going to do your own show, but you can't have your name on it. We're going to get you a co-host. It's going to be Ellen and whoever. And I said, oh no. This is, you said it was going to be my show, and so it's also just reminding people of the deal. Look, we're going to do the show. It's going to be the Ellen Kay Morning Show. We're going to make it great. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to do it from our heart. And we're going to be a show with a purpose. We're going to help people. We are going to bond with people, and we're going to do all the things I did on the other shows with the men, but we're going to do it better. And that's what we set out to do.
Yeah, and you completely achieved that and continue to.
Thank
you.
And
I think that's really admirable. We can't not talk about the fact that obviously, you know, very physically we are both women.
Yes.
And like you said, I'd like to think there's an element of us being able to sit here today. Prime example.
Yes.
We're the minority. You know. How do you find that, first and foremost, you know, being a woman in a very male-dominated industry?
Right.
And what advice would you give to someone that sort of feels like maybe that's a bit of a hurdle for them coming into this world?
Right. I think that if you think it's a hurdle, it will be. If you don't think it's a hurdle, you'll get through it and you'll persevere. And one of the pieces of advice I got from one of my male bosses was, look, as you lead your own show, you are going to be talking to mostly men and very decisive men. So don't mince words, be decisive, say what you need, what you want, and why, and state your case, almost like a lawyer in a trial, right? It's almost like we have to pretend like we are, you know, we're attorneys.
Yeah.
And so I always held that in my mind,
Yeah.
is that I'm just going to say it like it is, and this is why, and why should I be treated differently than anyone else, when many times I had a lot more experience than the guys down the hall. And so it's just, it's really believing in yourself, and that sounds so trite, but it's true. You have to wake up and every day and not be defeated by the no's. And I think I got a lot of no's, and I still get no's, but it's not taking it personally. I
No.
think as women, sometimes we take things personally. So don't take anything. It's not personal.
No, let that wash through you. And also, you touched on it. Let it make you stronger. Let it fuel you. That fire. I think as women, we're so hungry and we're so ready. And also, I don't know about you. I want to make this a 50-50 world for us. The equality, and we have the power. To be able to do that. I appreciate we can't control this, but how do you find men are with you within this world? Do you find that men are here to support you and they want to empower you, they want to put you in positions of power, or do you find that actually it's hold fire, remember who's in charge, if you're speaking honestly?
Honestly, I've been very lucky that I've been very supportive, and the reason why is because I love what I do. And so I'm not viewed as a female by my male executives and by my male counterparts. And I think that's because I approach it just like they do. It's like we're all the same. We're doing the same thing. So I don't let it be a thing. And they respect that. And I think also I have the luxury of having a lot of experience around very powerful, prolific, famous men that I worked and sat next to. I had the best training in the world, and that's why I just want to say to any woman who wants to be in radio, you will not be sorry. It is just, it's just the most fun, rewarding, fulfilling. As you know, the communication, there's just nothing like it. And don't let working for men get in your way.
Yeah.
Ever, because if you don't let them treat you like a woman, they'll treat you as an equal. And that's all I would say, is just that, like I said, I've never held gender in my mind or in my heart when I've gone into a meeting, when I've had to ask for things, when I've had to fight for things. And so that served me well, just being a person. And then they'll treat you like one. Yeah,
and I think that's really admirable, because I do think it's a conversation that often comes up. And actually, if you can just be here and be strong and say, do you know what? I'm not even going to think about it, because then you are not even going to recognize it.
We recently celebrated International Women's Day, right? I don't like that day, because it's one day where we're shouting out women. And I said, is there an International Man's Day? Why International Women's Day?
That's interesting.
So that's kind of the way I look at things. I think, okay, I'll celebrate my female friends and counterparts and powerful women, but why is it one day? Why do we have to say, give us this day when we don't do that for men?
No, and we should be doing it every day, right? Ultimately, we don't need one day to say, hey, give us a minute, let's talk about it. You mentioned something earlier, moving on from that, about sort of, getting into radio.
Yes.
It's an amazing space to be in.
Yes.
It's really exciting place. The landscape of radio's changed. How do you feel as though the future of radio is going to evolve? If you could click your fingers, we go forward 20 years' time, do you think it's going to be much different from the landscape that we're in now?
I don't think it's going to go away, but I do think it's going to be differently, because I think we'll be using all new tools. We'll be using AI, we'll be using spatial recording, we'll be multimedia all the time, but we'll still have that connection, that live connection of radio is never going to go away. And look, many times, as someone said with the opening panel, a lot of things have come in. One man described it as a band, but radio is the lead singer. The keyboard player might be podcasting, the guitar player might be streaming, but radio is the lead singer,
the front and forerunner.
Yeah, so we'll use all of these tools to connect on the radio live, like no other medium does. Yeah.
AI? We've got to talk about that.
Yes, let's talk about AI. My voice is in 8 languages I can't speak in AI, and I love it. It's not perfected yet, and nor will it ever have the emotion and the feelings that we have. Yes, visually, AI has come a long way. With audio, it still has a long way to go, and it will get there. And I think we use it to spread our brand, not to replace our brand. So many people I work with I'm so afraid I'm going to be replaced by AI. Right? You can never be, because AI doesn't have a heart. AI doesn't have the emotional connection. Now it can fake it, but just like when you listen to a pre-recorded show or you listen to live, people can hear the live energy. And you can also hear the AI energy. It's a different energy.
Okay, that's really interesting because I speak to a lot of people, within the kind of presenting world. People are scared. People are nervous that all of a sudden, I'm at the start of my career.
Yes.
Is there even going to be a career for me in future? But you seem to have a very different opinion.
Well, my son is in computer science at Stanford, and he made a video for his AI class, and it's of a computer, and it's an AI video. And so he took the computer and he said, there's something that a computer and AI can't do, and they can't love. They can't love. There's no love. And he went way back in time to make these examples. And then at the end, he got an A+ on his project because he was throwing a computer up in the air like a baby, trying to give it joy. But it can't feel the love or the warmth because it's a computer, it's AI.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing. Until AI can actually have a real beating heart, it will never replace a human.
No. Okay, good. I'm glad because I was fearing for my job, but Ellen Kay said I'm okay.
You will always have your job because you have a heart.
Hopefully, somewhere. Very, very deep, somewhere. Quickly, a couple of questions before you go. Social media. Obviously, you've got quite a big presence on social media. Radio, content creation, they're very different things.
Yes.
Again, someone at the start of their career, I sort of feel like I have to be a content creator as well.
Yes.
How important is the sort of digital medium, social media, Facebook, Instagram? How important is that for our careers and the future of radio?
Well, it's everything, and I'll tell you, you know why. It's everything because you'll see the response you get when you're setting up for something, or you're packing for your day, or you're behind the scenes. That's you. That's your content. And then when you're on the air, but also the off-the-air moments are so special as well. So everything is content. We have one of my coworkers. She was really resistant to really get into the social media game. So we put a camera on her dashboard, and we said, just turn it on when you drive into work. And just maybe talk to it some days, other days just let it go. And she is getting so many likes from her car content, and it's just her maybe honking at someone else or explaining what's happening or what she's worried about or what she just left, back at home, or that, her dog needs to have a surgery. And these moments, we're just pulling them from our car cam. And so I just feel like it's really important. We're streaming now, we're live on the app, we're on Instagram Live, Facebook Live, and we're doing all of these things all at once.
Yeah.
And so we have robotic cameras in the studio. We don't even know when we're on anymore.
Because you're always on.
Because you're always on.
You're always on.
You're always on. And that's been just a huge evolution, right? From the time I started in radio to right now. And it's a beautiful evolution. I love it. I love that there's so much to do now and so many ways to connect.
Yeah. Brutal question.
Yes.
Biggest challenge of your career? Something that looking back, you're like, that was tough. I nearly walked away.
Yes. Leaving Ryan Seacrest and going on my own. It was one of those things where I'd get up and go and do that radio show the best I could, and I was fighting for marketing money, I was fighting for prize money, I was fighting to get what all the guys had. I'm a new show, we're kind of making our way together.
Yeah.
And I would stay 12 hours at the radio station until I felt comfortable enough to say, now we're on track. And I missed Ryan so much. We were just together for so long. We lived across the street from each other. We ate every meal together. And so I was also grieving the end of something great, but had his support and love. And plus, it's right across the street and right down the hall. So that was a little bit spoiled baby of me, but that was definitely one of my biggest challenges, the scariest thing. If I knew now, then I probably would have
relaxed.
I still would have done it, but then I would have been more scared too.
Yeah. And I think that failure of being scared actually is what kind of propels you and now the success. Final question.
Yes.
Let's give something to women and men. Look, I get it, but we're here as two women talking. What advice do you want to give to someone that wants to get into radio as a young woman, admires you, aspires to be in a position like yours? What would that advice look like?
I would say, do it. We need you. We need more women. We need more women leading their own show. You can do it. You can be a man, but you're a woman, and you can be the lead of your own show. It is so possible, and you'll find also that the support is out there. Many times, maybe your decision maker hasn't even thought of it. I just met a gentleman, and he is in Saudi Arabia. It's an all-female lineup, one-year-old radio station, all females, and they're just killing it. And so use examples like that, like me, like you, to the possibilities. And the possibilities are so exciting. And you have to ask, because if you don't, it's always a no, right?
I agree.
Ask.
I agree.
Just ask.
And I think, you know, a final note from me, I think as a woman, you have a choice, and you can either empower other women,
yes,
or you can put other women down. And I think, you know, you get that energy from you, but to meet you and sit here and talk to you, and you can see it and you can feel it in your eyes. I think, thank you for helping young women like myself feel kind of empowered to follow in your footsteps.
Thank you, because you can do it. You can do it. Look, not only can you do it as well as men, you'll do it better, and you will. I mean, it's something that, I'm not putting men down, but we have a new president at our group, and he said when he listens to some of the men on the air, he says, I feel like their friend. With your show, I feel like family. And so I feel like we can do anything a man can do. And what's that song? I can do anything.
We can do it better. I could do it in broken heels.
Right. So don't be afraid. Just fearless.
Ellen, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.